Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. And today we've got another Cryptic Crossword Apprentice class where I try and teach myself cryptic crosswords. I've been doing American-style crosswords, the New York Times and others for most of my life, but cryptic crosswords are a little bit new to me, and I've been trying to understand the conventions, so I do this puzzle every week, record it, and try and get better. You're welcome to join and comment if you are so inclined. This is published every Saturday in the Globe and Mail, globeandmail.com. Fraser Simpson is always the setter, and it uses Canadian English, which is a little bit easier for me to process often than the UK English you might see in the Independent or Guardian or other cryptic crosswords you might find on the internet. All right, let's see how it goes today. Let me see if the timer is clicking. Yep, timer is running. One across, slow boat with a large horn. Slow boat with a large horn. If you're new to cryptics, we need to split the clue somewhere into two parts. One side will be a crossword definition. The other side will be wordplay. I'm thinking A in the clue, slow boat with A. That's going to be a letter A. Large can be abbreviated by a letter L. So is it something with A, L? Do we get horn or slow boat? I'm not sure about that. Okay, but that's the kind of thing we're looking for here. 3 across is pays too much preparing Devon's reps. We need a 10-letter answer. Devon's reps, if we include that apostrophe S, is 10 letters. So I think preparing might be an anagram indicator. We anagram the letters in Devon's reps, and we get a synonym for pays too much. Overspends. Let me make sure that's right. That does fit. I think that's all the letters. I think that's what that is. 9 across is regional mice scattered after Armageddon. Regional mice doesn't sound like it's a phrase unless it's like a word for mice that's only spoken in some particular region. So region might be our definition. So maybe we have mice, and that is scattered after a synonym for Armageddon, which would be what? Apocalypse? It's a short synonym for Armageddon. I don't know. 11 across is weak lower back connected with Castilian hero. Castilian hero, a Spanish hero from the region of Castile, could be Don Quixote or El Cid. Weak lower back connected. Lower back could be the back of the word lower. Connect that with a Castilian hero, and we might get a synonym for weak. And if that's what it is, I'm not seeing it. Let's take a look at these downs. 5 down, modernize court official with it. Renew might be modernize in 5 letters. What is a court official? A ref? I'm thinking, on a basketball court or something, a ref, and then put it with it, IT, and we get refit, which might be a crossword answer for modernize. 6 down is remained in use as anyone can see. Remained, but a synonym for remained inside a synonym of use, and we get as anyone could see, patently. Doesn't that mean obviously? No, that doesn't fit. Okay, let's leave that aside. We got an N here for 7 down. Machiavelli coin. Oh, say. Machiavelli. I'm not sure about that. 8 down is face showed relief at hearing. Hearing is probably a homophone indicator, so we take the phrase showed relief at, that might be side, S-I-G-H-E-D. We put in a homophone for that, S-I-D-E, and we get the side of something is the face of it. Weak lower back. Connected with Castilian hero. Lower back. Is it flaccid, maybe? That might mean weak. And it has Sid in it. Lower back with Sid. A lower is something that makes a low sound. Cattle low. And here is a lower is a calf. A small cow lows. It moos. So we spell it backwards. That's what the lower back means. So lower spelled backwards is F-L-A-C. We connect that with Sid, not L-Sid, but just Sid, and we get weak, flaccid. Machiavelli coin. Oh, say. No. 13 across. Shelter with oxygen, nearly an hour. And the 3-2 means we need 2 words here, 3 letters and 2 letters. Shelter, or nearly an hour. Shelter could be, well, okay, tent is a shelter. O is the chemical symbol for oxygen. And 10-2 could be 10 minutes to the hour, so nearly an even hour if you're telling time. Okay. Remained in use, as anyone can see, plainly. As anyone can see, plainly. I like that. What is the wordplay? Remained. Could that be in? Or in is in. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put in plainly. Remained in use. Play. Could that be use? I'm not sure about the wordplay here. I'm going to take out this L to remind me, in case that's wrong, I want to come back and look at it. Not say, no. 16 across. Pest corrected gym typos by end of month. 5 letters and 4 letters. By end of month. That could be a letter H. Typos, gym typos. Are we anagramming gym typos? That's 8 letters. Add an H. And that would give us, we need a pest. Is some kind of moth, a gypsy moth. Is a gypsy moth a pest? Could be. Machiavelli's first name is Niccolo. So coin is nickel, add an O, and then say is a homophone indicator for those 2 words. Niccolo gives us Niccolo in Italian. Okay, and that is Machiavelli's first name. 14 down is swindlers describing recess nosebleeds. Not sure about that. 4 down begins with a V, 6 enclosures outside Arkansas parish houses. We've got a V there. 6 might be a Roman numeral 6. 6, and then enclosures going outside the state abbreviation for Arkansas. Maybe here. Enclosures are cages. C-A-E-S. We need to do it like that. So here's Arkansas. This A-R-C-A-G-E-S is cages. VI is the Roman numeral 6, and we get vicarages, which are synonyms for parish houses in Anglican tradition. All right, 9 across. Regional mice scattered after Armageddon. I feel like there's going to be an anagram of mice here. Something like pandemic. That's not Armageddon. 12 across is book division guy. Book division guy before short time in office. No, 15 across. Thicket of trees. Egyptian Christians mentioned. A thicket of trees is a copse. And Egyptian Christians could be Copts, C-O-P-T-S. So it's kind of a homophone there. That's what mentioned is doing. Dull subject never finishes. I think we need a 6-letter word for subject, but it never finishes. So we take off the last letter and we're going to get a synonym for dull. And like a dull painting could be matte. So we take matter, which is subject. It never finishes. We remove the last letter and we get matte. Short time in office. Nope. Uproar over soft night light. 2 down. Soft might be piano on a musical score. P tells you to play it softly. So we put a synonym for uproar over P and we get nightlight. 3 and 4. Is it some kind of lamp? Bedlam. Bedlam is an uproar, and we would get bedlamp by putting that over P. Book division guide before short time in office. So again, short time in office, maybe we take term, which is your time in office, but we make it short, so we get TER. Then we get a guy is a chap, and put chap and TER together to get chapter, which is a book division. 1 down. Technocrat adjusted private eyes outerwear. Adjusted is an anagram indicator of technocrat, and stereotypically what would a private eye be wearing in a noir detective film? He would be wearing a trench coat. So endemic means regional. Mice scattered after Armageddon. Armageddon is the end times the end. Then we anagram mice after that, and we get endemic, which is regional. This disease is focused in a particular region. It is endemic there. A large horn is a tuba. Okay, so slow boat is a tub with a, and we get tuba, large horn. That's the top half of the puzzle. Well, maybe plainly is right. Remained. Lay in, to use something, to use a tool is to ply it. So I think we have L-A, well, lane. If something remained, it has lain on the table for a time. And we put that in ply as synonym of use, and we get plainly, as anyone can say. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. 18 across is auction house staffer collected pieces from Persia. I feel like we're going to have a synonym for staffer that is, and then we're inserting some of the letters from Persia inside. Then we're going to get a word for auction house. It's not like Christie's or Sotheby's or anything like that. I don't know. 21 across. Roll for a soprano in Rigoletto's cast. And the phrasing of this makes me think it's a hidden, and I think it is. So within the words Rigoletto's cast, in order, we have the letters T-O-S-C-A, which is the title of an opera. I'm going to guess. I don't know, but I'm going to guess that Tosca is a soprano role. So that would be a role. Tosca would be a role for a soprano. It is found in the phrase Rigoletto's cast. 23 across. Learn of true chest beater. A he-man could be a chest beater. Where are we getting that from? Learn of. That's probably here. Learn of true. Okay. True false exam. You might see T and F as abbreviations for true and false. So T could be abbreviated as, or true could be abbreviated as T. To learn of something is to hear of it, and a heart is something in your chest that beats. 25 across. Gradually takes in love's story beginning by Aaron's brother. Aaron's brother in the Bible is Moses. Love, story. I think it's osmosis. Gradually take in. The process of osmosis is the gradual exchange of particles through a membrane or something like that, if I remember dimly from high school chemistry. Love is O. Zero in tennis can be used, the letter O can mean that. Story's beginning is S. By Aaron's brother, Moses. But is this going to be an E or osmoses? Would be the plural of osmosis, I think. I'm going to guess an E just because of the spelling of Moses. But that may be wrong as well. Let's see if maybe crossing letters will help that. 27 cross, once again, straighten existing billboard after wiping front. Once again, and suggest that it's going to be with RE. Once again, straighten, realign or something like that. Existing billboard after wiping front. So maybe we take a synonym for billboard, we remove the first letter of it. Or exist, they exist. We're going to use ARE there? I'm not sure. 28 across, hidden by gossamer, I can land. I think this is another hidden within the words gossamer, I can. Our hidden is hidden, the word America, a land. All right. 29 across, take over green veggies tart from Spooner. All right. Spooner clues can be difficult for me. Spooner was famous for switching the first letters or the first sounds of adjoining words. For example, banning Ted in a recent puzzle turned out to be tanning bed, according to Spooner. So it's that sort of thing. I'll come back to that one. 30 across, tattoo selections in the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks might be the last letters of weeks, KS. I guess you would use inks. So that is, tattooed selections is our definition in, and then the last couple of weeks, K and S, we get inks. You'd have to select inks for a tattoo. Meeting sounds, backed up, holding last of debates. Meeting is our definition here. Sounds backed up, we're going to spell noises backwards, and it is holding this letter S, the last letter of debates, and we get session, which is a synonym of meeting. Swindlers, describing recess, nosebleeds. I'm guessing nosebleeds is our definition. We're going to have a word for swindlers, and it is going to describe, it is going to go around a word for a recess, which might be apse. That's a common crossword answer for a recess in a church, kind of like a nook or a niche kind of thing. So, nosebleeds. Nosebleed seats are the cheap seats. So I think cheats are the swindlers. They are describing apps, and we get cheap seats, the nosebleed seats. 21 down. No terminal in moderate city near Phoenix. It's Tempe, isn't it? So moderate, is that temperate? But we're removing the last, the suffix from temperate, or is terminal rate? No terminal in moderate. City near Phoenix, I think, is Tempe. I think it is some kind of play on temperate as a synonym for moderate. Or to moderate something is to temper it. Okay, so we put temper in as a synonym of moderate as a verb. We were removing the terminal letter, the last letter, and we get Tempe, city near Phoenix. 17 down. Pierce each to benefit Greek goddess of folly. I think we're looking for the name of the Greek goddess of folly. So pierce, we get a word for pierce. Each can be EA or per. No, okay, so if something costs $20 each, it costs $20 per. Pierce is going to be our definition, I think. Let's see. Pierce each per to benefit. Perforate is pierce. How are we getting that? To benefit for? Greek goddess of folly. Now, I'm not seeing the wordplay for this one either. I like perforate as a synonym of pierce. It begins with per, to benefit. Greek goddess of folly. Could erato? No, I'm not sure about that. Let me come back to that one as well. 18 across, auction house staffer. Would that be an assessor or something? Collected pieces from Persia. Maybe we're just we're anagramming Persia, but we are collecting multiple pieces from it. An appraiser would be an auction house staffer that has all the letters from Persia, but some of them are repeated. And I see clues like this frequently that I'm always confused by them because I'm not quite sure how you know that we are using multiple letters. 19 down, former Shah nearly paid to get around hot lava before the end. The former Shah of Iran was, the royal house was called the Pahlavi. So I think Pahlavi is former Shah, nearly paid, P-A, or P-A-I, nearly all of the word paid, but remove the last letter. It goes around hot, H, hot and cold, H and C, lava before the end. Again, we're removing the last letter of lava, so Pahlavi. And I'm helped by knowing that is the name of the former Shah of Iran. 20 down, a Virginia Republican heads off greed. A, Virginia Republican heads off avarice is greed. So we're taking the heads of a Virginia Republican. To off someone is to ice them. What is heads doing there? Because we're not taking the head of Virginia. We're using the postal code, the two-letter postal abbreviation for Virginia. We're taking the head off Republican. I think it's avarice. I think that's right. 26 down is dwarf planet father recalled. I think we are reversing a synonym for father, and we're getting a synonym, a name of a dwarf planet. Or is it one of the 7 dwarfs? No, 27 across, once again straightened. So realign is to once again straighten. How are we getting that? Existing billboard could be, if something is existing, it is real. Billboard is a sign. We wipe the front off of sign. We get IGN, put that next to real, and we get, once again, straighten. Dwarf planet. Is there a dwarf planet called Eris? Eris was the Greek goddess of discord, I think. To father a child could be to sire a child, or you might hear that used for horses, the dam and the sire. So I think sire is a synonym of father. We reverse it, we recall it, and we get Eris, which I think is the name of a dwarf planet. 29 across, take over green veggies tart from Spooner. So I think if we had a synonym for green veggies and a synonym for tart, pie maybe, figure out what that phrase is, reverse the first letters of those 2 words, and we would get a synonym for take over. 5 and 5. 24 down is great deal for 1950s TV sidekick. A great deal of something is a ton. Something is for someone. It is to them. I've seen that used before. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll accept it. And we get Tonto, which was the sidekick of the Lone Ranger in the 1950s TV show. Take over. I think that is going to be our definition. To take over is to... Yeah, not sure. Let's try perforate. Pierce each. To benefit. Could be 4. Greek goddess of folly. ATE. Yeah, not sure about that. Okay, but I think that's right. I think this is the last clue. Take over. Green. What are green veggies? Well, there's so many green veggies. Tart. It doesn't end in over. To seize power is to take over. I think that's the answer. What is the word play? We switched the S and the P. That would be peas sour. Okay, yeah. Green veggies are peas. Technically, they're not vegetables, but I'll allow it. Peas sour is tart. I was thinking of a pastry, but yeah, tart as a flavor, a quality of taste would be sour. So we would pronounce peas sour. Spooner would pronounce that as seize power. We spell that phonetically, or spell it into real words. We get seize power. To take over. I think this is right unless osmosis or plainly or perforate are incorrect. But let's try an R and see if that finishes the puzzle. That was it. All right. Well, is this the first one I solved with no hints? I think last week I had an error where there was something I did that was a silly error. I thought it might be wrong, but this week I made points of taking letters out until I got more in to make sure that nothing would change there. I didn't do that last week, and then got to the last letter in the puzzle and got an error message that something was still incorrect. I did manage to find it without using a hint, but I'll count that as a hint. So no hints today. There were 3 clues, I think, that I'm just not sure about the wordplay. I think I figured out plainly. That's ply and lane. Greek goddess of folly. I'm going to see maybe if Ate, that's not a goddess I've heard of. It's orate? I think pierce is the definition, the synonym of perforate, and figure that out. And then osmosis, I've always seen it spelled with an I think. Moses, certainly spelled with an E usually. So love, the beginning of story, Aaron's brother Moses. Is that a verb? To osmose? It osmoses, it gradually takes in? Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll allow that. And then, yeah, I'm just not sure about this one, perforate. But everything else seems to make sense. So that's pretty good. I think that's the first time I solved one of these with no hints. So I'm going to give myself 100%. Should I deduct a point maybe for not being able to understand the wordplay? No, this isn't connections. I'm going to get 100% on this. If I was doing this in some kind of contest or something, I'd submit it as is, and I would have gotten whatever the score was based on my time. All right, let me know in the comments how you did with this, and if you're new to Cryptic Crosswords, maybe like me, you got into them through watching the Minute Cryptics, or I got interested in them through watching Cracking the Cryptic. If you're a fan of that channel or the Minute Cryptic Clues or other Cryptic Crosswords, let me know. And if you have a source for American English Cryptic Crosswords, I'd be really interested in learning about that. The Canadian English isn't too bad, and they tend to avoid kind of the UK specific geographic and kind of the slang words like con for study and things like that. But yeah, that was a good puzzle. Quite pleased with getting a good score on that. Thanks for joining me. Please come back for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.